I was planning to propose to the love of my life, but she blindsided me with a breakup and another man. 4.5 years together, gone in a single holiday flight. I, male 35, have been together with her, 36, for 4.5 years now. I am absolutely heartbroken and shocked, as I did not see this breakup coming. We are living together and were talking about getting married and planning to have children together soon, only a couple of weeks ago. I loved her more than anything, and I was so absolutely happy to have her. We met in university and were at the time good friends but in different relationships. But as we graduated, we were both single again and started to get to know each other better. We started dating and texting, and I quickly fell in love with her. At the time, she went on a 2-month holiday back to her home country, and I spontaneously decided to come and see her there. She was really impressed by that and soon fell in love as well. After this trip, we both found employment in my home country. Since I had a big and cheap apartment, she moved in with me. We both started working and had a wonderful, at least to me, relationship together for about a year. We had a little fight once when we were both lying in bed after a long workday. She was studying a German book to learn the language of my home country for her job, and I was reading a novel. She kept asking me to explain different English words, which interrupted my reading. After a couple of questions, I asked her, a bit annoyed, if she could ask me those questions another time. I saw that she was hurt by my remark and quickly apologized and offered to answer her questions, but she didn't want to anymore. A couple of days later, she suddenly said she was breaking up with me for the first time. She told me that she was absolutely exhausted and that it was really stressful for her to learn a foreign language and work at the same time. She felt like I wasn't supporting her at all with learning German, and that it wasn't fair that she had such a long commute compared to me, because her job was in a different city. At that point, I realized that it must have been really stressful for her, but she had never mentioned it before. I was heartbroken and asked for another chance. I offered to be more supportive and to move to another place, but she didn't want to hear it. She decided she needed space and moved to another city. At that point, I stopped contacting her completely, but after a couple of weeks, she started contacting me again. She said that she felt less exhausted now and that I really understood her issue. She said she made a mistake and should have communicated her feelings better. She wanted to see me again. We decided to take things slow this time and started fresh. On the weekends, I came to visit her in the other city. We started as friends again and slowly became more intimate. After a while, we both decided that this relationship was going to work and that we wanted to see each other more often. We moved in together again to a new city, which was between both our workplaces. We lived there happily since. She started dropping more and more hints that she would like to marry me and have children with me. I was still a bit worried after the first breakup that she might have a sudden change of heart again, so I decided to wait a bit to be sure this relationship would really work. I told her that I was waiting for the right moment to ask her and that I felt like it was a bit too early for children. Last Christmas, 2022, she wrote me a card saying thank you for all the support I gave her, that I was the best boyfriend she ever had, that she loved me more than anything, and was looking forward to spending many more years with me. At that point, I decided that this relationship would work for sure. I planned to propose to her at the end of 2023 on a beautiful trip to Thailand that we had planned together. I told her that I would like to have children, but wasn't sure when the right moment was. We weren't exactly trying to have children, but we started having unprotected sex and were just risking it. At the end of November, she asked me to sit down with her for a talk. She told me that she wasn't sure about this relationship any longer, that she felt unsafe with me, and that she needed space. I was completely taken by surprise again. I thought everything was great, and that she was happy. Only a month ago, she told my mother that we were now thinking about children. I asked her to explain why she was feeling this way, and she said that I never take care of her when she needs me. She cited an example from a couple of months ago when she was a little bit sick, slight cough and runny nose, and asked me to get a COVID test. I told her then that she didn't need one because there were no longer any regulations concerning COVID in our country. I told her that if she was feeling sick, she should just take the day off from work. She later went to the pharmacy to buy a test and some medicine, and was then pissed that I didn't go. I tried to explain that it wasn't rational to buy a test because it didn't matter whether it was COVID or not. I tried to tell her that I would, of course, help her if she actually needed help, but to me, this was just a small, trivial thing. She didn't want to hear it, though, and now also believes that I would leave all the responsibility of raising children to her. I begged her to come on the holiday with me anyway, hoping that some quality time and relaxation would help her see things differently. Things started off well. We had a good time. I tried to do everything perfectly and be really attentive to her needs, but quickly she started to retreat more and more. She became very distant, didn't want to be touched anymore, and got annoyed about every little thing I did. I told her that I was planning to propose to her on this trip and showed her the ring, saying that I would try anything to fix this relationship and still wanted to be with her for the rest of my life. We had a lot of talks about what she thought wasn't working. She said that I didn't cook enough, and that she had told me a couple of times that she would like more help with cooking and groceries. I agreed that I didn't cook much, but argued that I did a lot of other household things. I said that this was a small thing we could fix, and that I didn't realize it was such a deal-breaker for her, etc. The more I argued, the more things she would mention that I didn't do. I started to feel that I couldn't do anything right anymore. On the plane ride home, she told me that it was over between us. I wanted to cry and scream and talk with her, but I couldn't, surrounded by strangers, so I just sat there for 15 hours in absolute agony. After we finally arrived home, we talked again, and she said that she needed time to think about the relationship. I was giving her space, but we had a couple of talks. I explained that I wasn't aware that those things meant so much to her. I apologized that I didn't notice some of the things that were bothering her so much. I suggested that she might also not have communicated clearly how important those things were to her. She didn't want to hear that, though, and thinks that I'm just not empathetic or attentive enough to notice. I said that I could change, and she said that she doesn't trust me anymore. I suggested going to a therapist together to work on the issues, but she wasn't convinced it would help. After some more days of uncertainty, she told me on New Year's that it was over for sure now, and that she couldn't do it anymore. I went to a party alone with a couple of friends, trying to forget my pain at least for a couple of seconds. When I came home the next day, she was in her room on the phone. She didn't hear me when I got in, and I realized she was talking to another guy. I heard some snippets of the conversation. I told my boss the whole story about my ex, and also that I met a new guy in Berlin, and that we had a lot of fun. Everything is so easy with you. I really want to support you as well. You have such nice legs, etc. I felt like I was going to have a panic attack. I felt so betrayed. I knocked on her door and wanted to talk. She didn't even look guilty. I asked her who this guy was, and she asked what I had heard. I just said enough. She explained that she met this guy in Berlin and felt attracted to him, and that they got along very well, but nothing happened. I told her I was really disappointed that she never told me, and that she had been blaming me for everything. She said that this guy had nothing to do with the breakup, that it was only for the reasons she told me before. She said that she thought I didn't need to know. During the whole holiday, when I was trying my best to fix the relationship, she was flirting on the phone with this guy. I thought she was talking to her sister about our relationship. She asked me during the holiday what is most important to me in a relationship, and I told her it was honesty, trust, and loyalty. She didn't even flinch or think to tell me then. Now I remember that the moment she started being unhappy was exactly when she came back from a 1-week seminar in Berlin in November. She says he's not the reason for the breakup, that she wouldn't throw away everything just for a guy she barely knows. She says she's not in love with him and that it probably wouldn't work anyway because he's apparently also in a relationship. I just don't know what to believe anymore. I feel cheated and gaslit. I don't know if I really didn't notice her needs, or if she was just looking for reasons to break up or calm her own bad conscience. I have so many questions. Is it my fault, and what exactly did I do wrong? Do I have issues with empathy and selfishness, or is she just really bad at communicating? Hell, I don't even know anymore if she ever really loved me. I guess you never truly know another person. Maybe she was just faking happiness all this time, or she really has issues with impulsiveness. After everything, I still want her back and to make things work, but I cannot convince her to give us another chance.